Did you know there's a growing group of pet owners that are vaccine hesitant? A group of 30,000 people across Canada have assembled online to protest the jab. Erica Party is one of them. She has two unvaccinated dogs, a Belgian Malinois named Granite and a Whippet named Cranberry. Erica, thanks so much for being a part of our show today.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for inviting me.
So you have decided not to vaccinate your dogs. Tell me why.
It's been a long time coming. I haven't vaccinated my dogs in 30 years, other than puppies that have come to me from breeders that have done initial puppy shots. But I find myself to be a qualified caregiver, so I have a lot of experience in alternative medicine, so I'm able to thwart things that may potentially go wrong if things do. But fingers crossed, I've never had any reactions or issues by not vaccinating my animals.
Like in terms of their health, they've been relatively healthy?
They've been very healthy, and I've never picked up any kind of communicable disease while owning them.
And are they mostly dogs that stay in the house? Are they dogs that go out, in the wilderness as well? Or is it kind of a mix?
Yeah, I have everything. I've competed. I have hunting dogs, working dogs, small dogs, you name it. There's been a gamut of different sizes and breeds and stuff. So it's not limited to household pets.
Okay. So I've been reading some of your blog posts. I know that you are interactive with the animal community. And one of the things that you wrote, is follow the money, not the fear when it comes to vaccines. Can you break that down for me?
Yeah, it basically comes down to, you have to look at who's behind pushing these vaccination schedules. There's an agenda, in my opinion. A lot of it is based on fear mongering and taking away your right to decide what's best for you and your pet and the situation you're in. So I always say, look at things with a critical lens and decide what's best for you. It's not a one size fits all, in my opinion. Each dog and every animal is different, and it's basically your comfort level. That's really what it comes down to: your choice, your comfort level.
So let's talk about the rabies vaccine. I mean, it's extremely protective. And rabies in almost every case is when it reaches the brain for animals or humans is fatal. That we do know. Are you at all concerned about your unvaccinated dogs, getting infected?
No, not at all. I guess if I was running a pack of beagles or a pack of hunting hounds through the woods in an American state that had high incidences of rabies, yeah, I would want them protected. Absolutely. But it just isn't the case, is it, for most pets? We're not in high rabies areas. We're not letting our dogs run through the forest and the woods unsupervised. I think we reached a point where we were a rabies safe. I'm not sure, we weren't a rabies free, but there's another place that we've reached with Canada as far as the rabies vaccine. And do you really need to give a rabies vaccine to a 3-pound Yorkshire Terrier that's never out of your sight and doesn't leave your house practically? It's common, I just want to see informed choice and informed decisions. Why do you have to push these things? It's what's the agenda behind it? And, what's the financial gain behind pushing these vaccinations on pets like that?
It sounds like you want more conversations around this and more information, which, we all should be talking to each other. So I think that's a good thing. A group that is talking is this Facebook group that has 30,000 people, at least vaccine hesitant at the minimum. Do you agree with, the voices in the room, in that room?
I agree with their concern. I agree with their, desire for knowledge. I agree with their need for transparency, because that's what it's about. It's a group of people sitting in a virtual room talking about the fact that they want more information. And they want to be considered, they don't want to be lumped into a zealot group of people that are anti-vaxxers, because that's not really what they are. They're people wanting information, and they find comfort, I guess, from other people that have had experiences, some of them really bad experiences with vaccinations with their pets.
Do you find that there is misinformation as well, though, circulating in that group? Like, is it a mix?
Of course, there's misinformation on the allopathic and Western medicine side of things too, saying that vaccinations is a one size fits all. and you get it on both sides. Whenever anybody's looking for, whenever there's an emotional component to it, you get all kinds of information. It really goes across the board that unfortunately, whenever there are human beings involved, there's going to be corruption and greed and misinformation, and it's just the way it goes. So you have to take things with a grain of salt. You have to investigate and do your own research and talk to people who have the information until you find something that is that makes sense.
I'm curious about, that 30,000 person Facebook group. Like, you have a spectrum of views on there. So at what point does it get dangerous in terms of, putting out maybe bad information or not well-researched information?
So my approach to people who are inexperienced is to follow the science. I never recommend anybody going out who live in a city and is going to dog parks and training classes and, to risk their pets without having some basic knowledge of alternative medicine or to be able to treat particular issues that may come up. Nothing can take the place of veterinary medicine if you don't know and don't have the background of knowledge that you need to be able to avoid it, if that makes any sense.
So do you have a straight substitute for a vaccine for your dogs? Like, what is the alternative medicine substitute?
So I'm a homeopath, right? So I've studied homeopathy for 20 plus years. Homeopathy has worked wonders for me. But I guess the biggest thing is that a lot of people, I avoid dog parks. I avoid, places where there's question as to the quality of the type of care that goes into animals. For example, like I wouldn't want to walk into a place where there are sick animals.
Erica, do you feel like people that are pet vaccine hesitant are villainized?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Anybody who's questions science is villainized, in my opinion.
And what would you like to see change?
I would like to see an integrative approach, both for humans and for animals. I think it's very egotistical for people to really believe that there's one size or one for everything. I think science has, over history, has made enough mistakes to realize that science is always evolving as well. And I think that why can we not all sit together to find out what is absolutely the best? At the end of the day, everybody wants the absolute best for them, for their pets.
I know every pet parent out there for their dog or their cat just wants to do the best for them. So thank you for being on the show.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.